Global News Briefing, January 15, 2026. Good morning. This is your daily briefing on the most critical developments shaping our world today. We are tracking a major tragedy in Southeast Asia, escalating geopolitical tensions over Greenland, and significant shifts in the global markets following the latest U.S. inflation data. World News. We begin in Thailand, where a devastating accident has occurred in the capital. At least 28 people have been confirmed dead after a heavy construction crane collapsed onto a passing passenger train. The crane, which was being used for a high-speed rail project, struck the train during the morning commute, causing a catastrophic derailment. Rescue operations are currently underway, but authorities fear the death toll may rise as workers attempt to free trapped passengers from the wreckage. In Europe and the Arctic, diplomatic tensions are flaring. Following frank discussions between U.S. officials and the Danish Foreign Ministry, Denmark has firmly rejected renewed American interest in purchasing Greenland. Danish officials stated that the acquisition of the autonomous territory is absolutely not necessary and not up for debate, despite recent comments from the Trump administration suggesting a strategic interest in the island's resources and location. Meanwhile, in Iran, the situation remains volatile. Protests have intensified following the announcement of death sentences for several demonstrators. However, in a surprising development, President Donald Trump told reporters that he has received intelligence suggesting the killing is stopping, and that executions may be halted, a claim that has yet to be verified by independent human rights organizations on the ground.
Economy. Turning to the global economy, the focus is on the K-shaped recovery that is defining 2026. The World Bank released a report today highlighting that while global GDP per capita is finally exceeding pre-pandemic levels by roughly 10%, the growth is deeply uneven. Advanced economies are stabilizing, but many emerging markets remain burdened by high debt and limited access to capital. In the United States, the latest Consumer Price Index, CPI data released yesterday shows inflation rising by 0.3%, meeting consensus expectations. On an annual basis, inflation sits at 2.7%, suggesting that price pressures are cooling but not yet defeated. This soft landing scenario is fueling cautious optimism, although high interest rates continue to squeeze younger demographics and lower-income households, leading to a spike in credit card and auto loan delinquencies. Furthermore, the World Economic Forum has identified geoeconomic confrontation as the top risk for 2026. With trade barriers rising and sanctions expanding, economists warn that the era of free trade is rapidly being replaced by fragmented economic blocs, threatening global supply chain efficiency.
Finance. In financial markets, it has been a turbulent 24 hours. Global stock markets mostly retreated as investors digested mixed earnings reports. Notably, shares in the financial sector took a hit after J.P. Morgan Chase missed earnings estimates, dragging down the Dow Jones and S&P 500. Compounding the uncertainty is a breaking story regarding the Federal Reserve. Reports confirm that the Justice Department has launched an investigation into Fed Chair Jerome Powell regarding renovations at the Federal Reserve's headquarters. While the investigation focuses on building contracts rather than monetary policy, the news initially sent Treasury yields higher and shook investor confidence in central bank independence. In commodities, oil prices have climbed to a 2-month high, driven by renewed fears of conflict involving Iran. Conversely, gold has edged off its record highs. In the crypto space, Bitcoin is trading sideways, hovering around the $92,000 mark, significantly below its recent peaks of over $95,000.
Technology. In the tech sector, SpaceX's Starlink is making headlines for its role in geopolitical activism. The company has reportedly dropped subscription fees for users in Iran to help protesters bypass government, internet blackouts, and share information globally. This move is seen as a game changer for activists, but is likely to draw sharp condemnation from Tehran. On the regulatory front, NVIDIA has received conditional approval to sell a new, high-performance AI chip to China. This decision balances the need for commercial revenue with national security concerns, ensuring the chips comply with strict export controls. Meanwhile, legal battles are heating up in Southeast Asia. Malaysia and Indonesia have initiated legal action against Elon Musk's social media platform X and its AI chatbot Grok. Authorities in these countries allege the platform has failed to adequately police sexualized AI-generated content, marking a significant clash between national internet laws and global tech giants.
Logistics and supply chain. Finally, in logistics, the industry is bracing for the Lunar New Year rush. Ocean freight rates from Asia to the US and Europe have surged approximately 22% week over week as shippers race to move goods before factories in China close for the holiday. However, the domestic logistics outlook in the US is mixed. Macy's announced the closure of its remaining units at a Connecticut distribution center, signaling a continued shift in retail fulfillment strategies. Simultaneously, the U.S. Postal Service, USPS, is eyeing expanded reporting requirements for package dimensions to improve efficiency and pricing accuracy. Air freight is seeing a different trend. Following the holiday peak season, global air cargo rates have dropped sharply, with the Baltic Air Freight Index falling 14%. This indicates a rapid cooling of demand as the immediate rush to restock inventory subsides. That concludes our briefing for today, January 15, 2026. We will continue to monitor the rescue efforts in Thailand and the developing market reactions to the Fed investigation. Thank you for joining us.